Close your eyes, breathe gently, and know what you seek is not far from you. It is within you. Healing is not a distant event, but a present reality waiting for your recognition. You do not heal by effort. You heal by acceptance, by assuming that you are already well. The body responds not to struggle, but to assumption. Every cell listens to the tone of your inner voice. What are you whispering to yourself? Begin here. Trust. Trust is not passive. Trust is an act of creation. When you trust, you align with the invisible currents of wholeness. You are saying, "It is done. I do not need to beg. I do not need to worry. I only need to rest in the knowing that I am." Healing is not something to chase. It's something to allow. In meditation, return to that sacred place within, where you already are whole. Close the doors of the outer world. Go within. Visualize your body glowing with light. See yourself walking in strength, breathing in peace, speaking with clarity. Feel it. Live it. Claim it. Affirmations are the voice of your inner God, not mere words, but creative decrees. Do not speak as one hoping. Speak as one who knows. Say, "I am whole. Every cell in my body vibrates with health. I trust the divine order of my life. Healing is mine now." And as you speak, let emotion rise. Let joy find you. Let peace flow like warm light over your being. For what you feel, you attract. And what you accept, becomes. Your body is not separate from your mind. It is the canvas upon which your beliefs are painted. Paint well. Choose thoughts of harmony. Choose visions of vitality. Choose to see yourself as already renewed. Let every meditation be a journey back to your true self. Let every affirmation be a reminder that you are not becoming healed, you are remembering that you already are. Most people look to their outer circumstances for confirmation of healing. They wait for the doctor's report, the physical evidence, the signs from the world to tell them it's time to feel better. But this is to move backwards through the creative process. The world does not cause your inner state. Your inner state causes the world you see. What you vividly imagine, especially in times of stillness, becomes the pattern that your body begins to follow. You must dare to see yourself as already healed before a single symptom disappears. In your imagination, walk as the healed person. Breathe as they would. Feel the calm strength in your body. Hear the voice of confidence within you. Use every sense, sight, sound, touch, taste, smell, to make this inner picture alive. When you do this, something powerful happens. Your subconscious accepts the image as truth and begins to reorganize your entire system around that truth. This is not daydreaming. It is not idle fantasy. It is creation in its purest form. The world calls it imagination. The wise call it vision. It is how all transformation begins. Every invention, every work of art, every moment of healing, each began first in the unseen realm of thought, feeling, and vision. The body listens. It listens to your thoughts, your inner conversations, and the images you dwell on. If you constantly imagine illness, talk about pain, and rehearse worst-case scenarios, the body will respond with tension, fear, and often disease. But when you begin to reverse this, when you intentionally imagine life, health, joy, and energy, the body relaxes. It begins to follow the image it sees repeated in the mind. That is why healing through imagination is not a matter of trying harder, but surrendering more deeply. Let go of the outer facts for a while. Withdraw your attention from what the senses scream at you. Enter your secret sanctuary within. In this space, you are free to create what you desire. Not what is, but what is desired. You are not bound by appearances in your imagination. There you can be whole now. You can feel good now. You can rise, smile, and speak from the place of healing, even if the outer world hasn't yet caught up. This act of inner seeing is not wishful thinking. It is spiritual law. Your life will always rise or fall to meet the image you hold of yourself. So hold a strong one. Hold a radiant one. Choose again and again to dwell in the image of your ideal, and the body will begin to harmonize with it. You cannot fake this. You must feel it. You must believe in your inner world more than you believe in the temporary evidence of your outer one. It is your imagination that speaks to the infinite, that communicates directly with the creative force of life itself. Use it with reverence. Use it with consistency, and watch what begins to change, not by force, but by alignment. Healing begins with one decision: to no longer let the outer world dictate your inner state. From there, you choose the image of wholeness. You dwell in it, you walk in it, you feel it as if it were already done. And by divine law, it must come forth and to exist now. You are already healed in the eternal now. There is no delay, no waiting, no future moment where healing will finally arrive. It is not something coming down the road, not something being earned by effort or time. It exists now, in this moment, fully formed in the invisible realm. The truth of who you are is wholeness. The only thing missing is your recognition of it. Healing is not something to chase. The moment you seek it outside of yourself, you have stepped away from the truth. The body may present symptoms, the mind may hold fear, but these are only reflections of old assumptions, patterns of belief that have been accepted and repeated over time. They are not the final authority. What truly governs your experience is your state of consciousness, what you accept as true right now. In the eternal now, all things are present. There is no past to relive, no future to await. There is only awareness. And in awareness, if you accept the state of being here, your world begins to shift to reflect that truth. Not because time has passed, but because your assumption has changed. To assume the feeling of being whole is to rise in consciousness above the facts. It is to look past the pain, the diagnosis, the worry, and to say, I remember who I am. You do not need the world to confirm it. You do not need others to understand. The moment you accept this inner state as true, something begins to rearrange. Healing does not come from effort. It comes from identification. If you identify with being unwell, even if unknowingly, your reality will echo that. But if you identify with being whole, even in silence, that silent knowing begins to shape your life. There is great power in assumption. It is not pretending, it is not lying to yourself. It is aligning with the truth that already is. The eternal now holds all possibilities. In this moment, you can tune into the version of yourself that already walks in peace, already breathes with ease, already lives in balance and harmony. That version is not separate from you. It is you, without the layers of fear, doubt, and memory. You were never broken, only taught to believe you were. And now, you return, not by fixing yourself, but by awakening to what you have always been. Wholeness is not earned. It is revealed. Feel it. That is the key. Do not merely say the words. Feel what it means to be whole. Feel the relief, the gratitude, the calm knowing that nothing is missing, nothing is wrong. Rest in that feeling. Let it saturate your mind, your breath, your body. When you dwell in that state, even for moments, you are no longer reaching, you are receiving. This is how transformation occurs, not by waiting for better news, but by becoming the bearer of new assumptions. You assume wholeness. You assume wellness. You walk, speak, breathe, and think from that place. The outer will catch up. The body will respond. The world around you will begin to rearrange itself to reflect what you hold as true. So right now, let go of striving. Let go of hoping that healing will come one day. Say instead, it is here, it is now, it is done. The eternal now holds no delays, no conditions. It only holds what you accept. The invitation is simple. Stop trying to get healed and start being healed. Live from the end, not the middle. Feel from the answer, not the question. Trust the unseen more than the seen. And what you feel with conviction in this eternal now will unfold effortlessly into form. You are already healed. Walk in that knowing. Meditation aligns you with the infinite. In the silence beyond thought, beyond striving, beyond fear, you meet the source of all creation. It is not in doing, not in forcing, not in fixing that true healing arrives. It is in returning to the center, to the deep stillness where your being is whole, untouched, and complete. This is the place where all things begin and where all things are resolved. The world trains us to look outward, to search for solutions, to run toward results. But the moment you close your eyes and turn within, you step into the realm where time and form lose their grip. You enter the field of the infinite, where all states of being exist now, and where healing is not something to create, but something to remember. Meditation is the gateway to this remembrance. It is not an escape, it is a return. In stillness, you do not beg for healing, you become it. You no longer argue with your symptoms or try to rearrange your outer conditions. You simply allow yourself to rest in the truth that underneath all appearance, you are already whole. This resting is not passive. It is powerful. It is the stillness that moves mountains, the silence that brings clarity, the quiet that restores every cell of your body. You were never designed to carry the weight of the world in your mind. Your natural state is peace. Your essence is harmony. But in the noise of life, this truth is often buried. That is why meditation is so essential. It is the daily practice of remembering. Each breath in awareness is a return to your true self. Each moment of stillness is a letting go of false identity and false limitation. And as the layers fall away, what remains is not a broken or incomplete version of you. It is your divine essence, shining and whole. Healing does not need to be summoned. It needs to be allowed. It is always flowing, always available. But we resist it when we live in the chatter of fear, the tension of control, and the belief that we must earn our wellness. Meditation removes the interference, it clears the static and reattunes you to the natural rhythm of life. And life, at its core, knows how to heal itself. As you sit in stillness, do not seek anything, do not try to make something happen. Simply become aware. Aware of the breath, aware of the silence, aware of the energy that surrounds you and flows through you. This awareness itself is alignment. It connects you with the infinite mind, the divine intelligence that formed you and sustains you. When you sit in this place long enough, something beautiful begins to unfold, not from effort, but from surrender. You will notice your thoughts softening, your emotions releasing, your body relaxing, and more importantly, you will notice that your sense of self expands. You are no longer the person trying to heal. You are the awareness in which healing is natural, constant, and inevitable. This is the power of meditation. It reveals to you what is already true, that you are not separate from the divine, that the infinite is not somewhere far off. It is within you, as you, now. And in this unity, miracles become normal, restoration becomes effortless, and peace becomes your foundation. Do not underestimate the silence. It is not empty, it is full. Full of wisdom, guidance, strength, and healing. When you return to it, again and again, you will find that the life you once tried to control begins to flow with grace. The healing you once chased begins to manifest on its own. Not because you forced it, but because you aligned. Meditation is not a luxury. It is your home. Return to it daily, not to change yourself, but to remember yourself. And in remembering, healing becomes not a destination, but your natural state. Affirmations must be felt, not just spoken. It is not the repetition alone that changes your world. It is the feeling behind the words. You are not trying to convince a distant power or recite a magic phrase. You are speaking from the place of power within you, the divine center that creates reality through assumption and belief. Words saturated with conviction become law. You can repeat a phrase 1,000 times, but if you do not feel its truth, you are only echoing emptiness. Real affirmation is not about quantity. It is about quality of belief. It is the sacred act of assuming a truth so deeply that the outer world must conform. You are not begging, hoping, or persuading. You are declaring. And the one to whom you declare is yourself. When you say, I am healed or I am whole, you must speak from the end, not from the lack. If your heart still clings to the absence, the pain, the fear, then those are the energies you continue to affirm, even while the words on your lips say otherwise. But when you say it with feeling, with stillness in your heart, and vision in your imagination, something shifts. You become the very thing you declare. Emotion is the carrier of assumption. It is the bridge between idea and reality. When you feel the truth of your affirmation, even before it appears, you activate the creative power of your inner world. You become magnetic to the version of life that matches your state. The words are not the cause, they are the vessel. It is the feeling that gives them life. To speak an affirmation correctly is to dwell in the state of its fulfillment. You do not speak of a thing, you speak from it. You feel the outcome as already yours. You sit in the calm, knowing that what you have spoken is done, and the world will rearrange to reflect it. Let your affirmations become sacred declarations. Say them with reverence, with presence, and with the tone of one who knows. Not because the world has confirmed it yet, but because your imagination already has, and that is enough. The outer follows the inner, always. Affirming I am abundant, while feeling anxious and desperate, does not create abundance. It strengthens lack. But when you say I am abundant, with peace in your chest, with gratitude as if the evidence is already before you. Now your words take root. The soil of consciousness accepts the seed when it is dropped, in faith, not in doubt. You must understand, your subconscious mind hears not just your words, but the tone beneath them. It responds to feeling, not form. It obeys the emotion you pair with your statement. Say it flat, and it remains dormant. Say it alive with belief, and it begins to move mountains. Speak your affirmations in the stillness of the morning or the quiet of night, when the mind is most receptive. Close your eyes, slow your breath, and speak not to get, but to become. Become the healed, the whole, the abundant, the beloved. See yourself as already in possession of the truth you affirm. Feel the peace of it, the joy, the relief. Let that be your practice. You do not need 1,000 affirmations. You need one, spoken with such inner conviction that it feels like a prophecy. You are not just reciting, you are commanding. Not from force, but from knowing. And in that knowing, all things are light. Affirmations are not about sounding strong. They are about feeling strong. They are not tools of the mind alone, but instruments of the heart. Let every word carry the frequency of your desire fulfilled. Let every sentence be saturated in the energy of already having it. That is when you stop speaking to the world and start speaking as the world you wish to see. And then your words become flesh. Trust is the bridge between the seen and the unseen. It is the invisible thread that connects the desire to its fulfillment, the imagined to the manifested, the inner world to the outer. Without trust, you wander through life attempting to control every detail, growing weary with doubt and frustration. But with trust, you rest in the knowing that all things are working together. Though unseen, they are not undone. Trust is the power that holds the unseen reality in place until it appears before your eyes. So many delay their manifestations not because they do not desire them, but because they do not trust. They affirm with their lips but cancel with their doubt. They pray, then check the world to see if anything has changed. And when it is not, they say, it didn't work. But trust is not impatient. Trust knows that what is planted will rise, not on your time, but in perfect time. Trust is not looking for signs, it is the sign. The moment you truly trust, your inner world softens. Anxiety fades. You stop grasping, stop forcing, stop trying to figure it all out. You understand that your work is to assume, to feel, and to know, and then to walk in peace, as if what you desire is already yours, because it is. The world you see is only a reflection of your inner state. And when you live in trust, you shift the cause. You no longer react to appearances, but respond from your deeper knowing. The outer may still look unchanged, but within you have crossed the bridge. You are no longer trying to get, you are simply allowing what already exists to meet you. Every desire is already complete in the unseen. When it arose in your heart, it came from a deeper place than logic. It came from the infinite, through you. And the moment you claimed it, it was done. But you must trust this unseen fulfillment more than you trust the temporary evidence of delay. Delay is not denial. It is simply the rearrangement of the visible to match the invisible. When you worry, you step off the bridge. When you question how or when, you block the very flow you ask to receive. But when you trust, deeply and quietly, you invite. You create space for life to meet you where you are. You become the calm observer, no longer in resistance, no longer in fear. Trust is not loud. It does not argue or explain. It is the silent agreement between you and the source of all things. It is the steady voice within that says, I know it is done. And that voice, once believed, becomes the reality you walk into. To trust is to remember who you are. You are not separate from the Creator. You are not powerless. You are not chasing miracles. You are the place where miracles begin. You were given the gift of imagination, not to tease yourself with fantasies, but to create realities. And the only price to pay is belief, faith, trust. So when you imagine your healing, your abundance, your peace, hold to it with the quiet strength of trust. Do not waver, because the world is slow to reflect it. Time is not the measure of truth. Your inner knowing is. Feel it. Live in it. Speak from it. And above all, trust it. For what you trust in your heart will become the law of your life. Doubt delays, but trust invites. Doubt argues, but trust agrees. Trust is not waiting, it is receiving. It is walking as though it's already done because it is. You are not here to force the outcome. You are here to align with it. So let trust be your foundations. Let it carry you over the unseen waters. Let it hold you when the evidence is thin. Because trust is the bridge that never fails. And once you walk it with confidence, the unseen becomes seen. Every time. Your self-concept is the foundation of your health. You do not experience life as it is. You experience life as you are. And how you see yourself, what you accept as true about your body, your mind, your spirit, shapes every cell, every response, every outcome. You cannot carry a self-image of weakness, fear, or disease and walk in wholeness. You must rise in consciousness and see yourself as already vibrant, already restored, already whole. There is no outside condition that defines you unless you claim it. The body responds to the mind's instruction, and the mind listens to your concept of self. If you see yourself as fragile, you become so. If you see yourself as a victim, life will mirror it. But if you dare to hold the vision of yourself as divinely supported, healed, and strong, even in the face of contradiction, you send out a new instruction, and the body listens. The body is not the cause, it is the result. And the root of that result is always the state of being you occupy. Healing begins when you shift your identity. When you say, I am whole, not out of wishful thinking, but out of knowing that your true essence cannot be broken. You are not the illness. You are not the diagnosis. You are not the limitation. You are the awareness behind all of it, and that awareness is eternal, pure, and powerful. You cannot remain loyal to the image of being unwell and expect health to find you. Healing begins the moment you drop the false self, the one that identifies with pain, struggle, and lack, and return to your true self, the one made in the image of the infinite, the one who knows that wholeness is not something to attain, but something to remember. Your self-concept is a seed, and whatever you water daily becomes the fruit you live by. So begin to nourish a new identity, one where you are no longer chasing healing, but embodying it. One where you no longer see yourself as broken, but as constantly regenerating, constantly aligned with divine intelligence. When you see yourself this way, not just occasionally, but habitually, you change the entire field around you. You see the entire field around you as a head of destiny. And the world lives in bliss when you change the entire field around you. The body hears what you say about it. Every time you affirm, I am tired, I am sick, I can't heal, you are imprinting that identity into your cells. But when you speak with power, I am vibrant, I am alive with energy, I am divinely guided to full restoration, you open a new pathway and the body will begin to follow. This is not about denying symptoms, it is about denying their authority. You can acknowledge pain without becoming it. You can observe imbalance without naming it your identity. The shift happens when you place your attention not on what is wrong, but on what is eternally right. The truth of who you are beneath the noise. The mind may argue. It may say, but look at the evidence, look at the reports, look at the mirror, and still you must say, I do not live by what I see. I live by what I know. And I know that I am not limited to this moment. I am more than this body. I am the one who directs it. Self-concept is not fixed. It is fluid. It can be renewed, rewritten, resurrected. You can build a new image starting today, one that radiates strength, wellness, peace, and joy. And every time you return to that image, in thought, in meditation, in affirmation, you breathe life into it. See yourself as whole, not someday, but now. Feel it. Believe it, live from it. Let that vision grow so strong within you that it dissolves every lesser thought, every fearful suggestion. Because what you consistently accept as true becomes the life you live. You are not here to chase healing, you are here to become it. And when you see yourself as already aligned, already radiant, already renewed, the body cannot help but follow. Healing is not a distant event, it is a present reality. It begins not in the body, but in the mind, in the silence, in the truth you dare to accept about yourself. You are not a victim of circumstance or diagnosis. You are the operant power, the center of awareness through which life expresses. When you imagine healing, feel it, trust it, affirm it, and align with it, your world shifts. What once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. This is the secret. You are not becoming healed. You are remembering that you already are. In the eternal now, nothing is missing, nothing is broken. Assume that feeling. Walk in that knowing. Let your self-concept rise to meet the version of you that is already whole, already vibrant, already free. You do not need to force anything. You only need to return to yourself again and again until that truth becomes louder than fear, deeper than doubt, and stronger than any condition. Healing is not outside you. It is who you are. Thank you. May your trust grow deeper, your affirmations ring truer, your meditations reveal more peace, and may your imagination never again forget its power.
You stand at the threshold of something extraordinary. In 20 minutes, you have the power to change the entire course of your life. I'm not speaking of effort, struggle, or toiling away. No, I am speaking of something much deeper, much more profound, the power of imagination. You have within you a tool more powerful than any external force, a tool that shapes your reality and brings into existence the life you dream of. This tool is your imagination. Far too many people overlook its profound power, treating it as a mere escape from reality or a whimsical daydream. But this is the great misunderstanding. Imagination is not a retreat from life, it is the very force that creates it. When you close your eyes and imagine something vividly, You are not just entertaining fanciful thoughts. You are engaging in the act of creation. Everything that you currently experience in your life began as a thought, a belief, an inner vision. The world around you, the conditions you find yourself in, are nothing more than the manifestation of what you have imagined and assumed to be true. The people, circumstances, and events in your life are merely reflections of your inner state. And what does this mean for you? It means you are not powerless. It means that at any given moment you have the ability to reshape your world by first reshaping your imagination. When you begin to see imagination as the master key to your reality, a door opens a door to infinite possibilities. The limitations that seemed so real before begin to dissolve. The walls of circumstance fall away, and you realize that the only limits that exist are those you have imposed upon yourself through habitual thinking. To change your life, you must first change the images you hold in your mind. Let's take a simple truth. If you can see it in your mind, it exists. The mistake people make is that they wait for the physical world to change before they believe in the possibility of something greater. But this is working backward. Your imagination is the source. If you want a new job, a loving relationship, or greater abundance, you must first imagine yourself as the person who already has those things. You feel it as though it were real. Walk in the consciousness that it is already done. In doing so, you are using the master key. This key opens doors that were previously closed, unlocks opportunities you didn't think possible, and invites into your life the very experiences you long for. Everything starts in the mind. Change your imagination, and you will change your life. In this very moment, you hold all the power to create and transform your life. The present moment is not simply a passing instant, it is the only reality that truly exists. The past is gone, and the future is yet to unfold, but what you do now is what shapes your future. Most people live either in regret of the past or anticipation of the future, forgetting that the true power lies in the present moment, the now. This is where all creation takes place. When you fully grasp that your future self is determined by what you are conscious of in this present moment, you begin to understand the secret of true transformation. The past has no hold over you unless you allow it to. It is only a collection of memories, images in your mind. But the present moment, this is the time when you can choose a new state of being. You can decide right now to step into a new reality, simply by shifting your focus and your consciousness. Most people believe that their future is something they must wait for, something that will arrive eventually if they work hard enough. But this is an illusion. Time as we understand it is linear only on the surface. In truth, every possible future already exists. The only thing that determines which future you will experience is the state of consciousness you hold in the present. By aligning yourself with the feeling of your desired outcome now, you bring that future into your reality. The power of the present moment lies in your ability to assume that what you desire is already here. When you stop worrying about what will happen tomorrow and start living as though your wish is already fulfilled, you collapse the distance between you and your desired outcome. Time loses its hold over you because you realize that everything exists in the now. The future is nothing more than the unfolding of what you are conscious of in this moment. So, let go of the fears and anxieties that pull you away from the present. Let go of the past that tries to define you. Focus only on this moment, on living in the state of your fulfilled desire. By doing so, you activate the creative power that resides within you and bring forth the reality you seek. The present moment is your gateway to unlimited potential. To transform your life, you must learn to live from the end, not toward it. This means embodying the state of your desired outcome as though it were already true. Rather than waiting for conditions to change, for external circumstances to align with your desires, you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled now. This is the key to creating the life you want. The outer world is a reflection of your inner state, and when you live from the end, you are signaling to the universe that your desire is already a reality. Many people live their lives striving toward a goal, always feeling as though they are in a state of becoming, never quite reaching their destination. They hope and wish, but they continue to see themselves as separate from the very thing they desire. This separation is what keeps their dreams at a distance. The secret is to close that gap not by effort or struggle, but by shifting your consciousness. You must begin to live as if your wish has already been fulfilled. This means thinking, feeling, and acting in alignment with your desired outcome, even before it appears in the physical world. When you live from the end, you are not pretending or fooling yourself. You are simply aligning with a higher truth, the truth that your desire already exists in potential. By assuming the state of your fulfilled desire, you bring it into form. The universe responds to your state of being, not your wishes or hopes. If you live in a state of lack, constantly seeking and chasing, you will perpetuate that state. But when you live from the end, fully immersed in the feeling that it is done, your reality must shift to reflect that inner conviction. This requires a radical change in perspective. Instead of asking, "How will this happen?" or "When will I get there?" you must believe that it has already happened. Feel the emotions you would feel if your wish were already fulfilled. Walk through your day with the certainty that what you desire is already yours. This shift in consciousness creates a magnetic force that draws the circumstances, people, and events necessary to bring your desire into physical manifestation. Living from the end is the ultimate act of faith. It is the understanding that creation is finished, and you are merely aligning yourself with the reality that already exists. The more you dwell in the state of your wish fulfilled, the faster it will materialize in your world. In just 20 minutes, you have the power to reshape your life entirely. Through the master key of imagination, the strength of the present moment, and the profound act of living from the end, you can unlock a reality that reflects your deepest desires. Remember, it is not about waiting or striving. Everything you want already exists within you. All it takes is a shift in consciousness, a belief that your wishes are already fulfilled, and the courage to live as though they are true right now. As you move forward, hold this truth close: you are the creator of your reality. By assuming the feeling of your desires fulfilled, the world around you must align with your inner state. In this way, you truly can change your life forever, beginning right now. Thank you for embracing this wisdom, for allowing yourself to see beyond the surface of life, and for stepping into the creative power that is your birthright. Now go forward and live the life you desire. It's already yours. Imagine for a moment that your daily existence is but the projection of your deepest beliefs. Every event, every conversation, every fleeting moment is a reflection of what you carry inside. You are the creator of your reality, the master of your destiny. If you seek to elevate your life, you must begin by refining what you do every day, because change happens in the subtle. The mind is the origin of all transformation, the silent architect of every experience in your life. Everything you see, touch, and feel in your external world is a direct result of the thoughts and beliefs you hold within. The world is not something that happens to you, it is something that happens through you. Every event and circumstance is simply a reflection of what you have accepted as true in your mind, whether consciously or unconsciously. Consider this: your thoughts shape your reality. Most people believe they are merely reacting to what happens around them, but the truth is quite the opposite. You are not a passive participant in the world, you are its creator. Every thought is a seed that you plant in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind, and from that seed grows the experiences of your life. What you allow yourself to think consistently will eventually manifest into physical reality. This is the immutable law of consciousness. Think about a time when you worried incessantly about something. Maybe you feared an outcome, and that fear grew stronger with each passing day. Eventually, what you feared came to pass, and you thought, "I knew this would happen." But did you know it, or did you create it? In focusing on the negative, in allowing your mind to dwell on what you did not want, you gave power to that outcome. Your mind, through its constant attention on the negative, brought it into being. The same holds true for positive outcomes. When you align your thoughts with what you desire, when you dwell on the possibility of success and happiness, those outcomes will begin to manifest just as surely as your fears once did. The challenge is not in merely thinking positively, but in realizing that your mind is always active, always creating. Every moment of every day, your thoughts are shaping the reality that is to come. Most of this happens below the surface, in the realm of your subconscious. The beliefs you hold about yourself and the world operate like invisible currents, guiding your thoughts and actions without you even realizing it. That is why it is so crucial to become conscious of your mental activity, to recognize that you are always planting seeds, whether you are aware of it or not. To change your life, you must first change your mind. You must become the master of your thoughts, deliberately choosing those that support the reality you wish to experience. This is not a matter of willpower or force. It is a matter of awareness and focus. When you recognize the power of your mind, you begin to see that you are never a victim of circumstances. You are the creator of them. What does it mean to change your mind? It means shifting your attention away from the things you do not want and focusing instead on what you desire. It means recognizing the beliefs that limit you and replacing them with ones that empower you. It means realizing that your mind is the most powerful tool you possess, and with it, you can shape your destiny. All change begins in the mind. The outer world is a reflection of the inner, and as you change your thoughts, your reality will begin to shift. What seems impossible now will become possible, and what seems distant will draw near. You are the creator of your life, and your mind is the source of all change. Conscious awareness is the foundation of deliberate creation, the key to transforming your reality. It is the state of being fully present, fully aware of your thoughts, emotions, and actions in each moment. Most people live their lives on autopilot, reacting to the world around them without realizing that their unconscious patterns are shaping their experiences. To live consciously means to step out of this automatic mode and take full responsibility for the life you are creating. When you are consciously aware, you recognize that every thought you think, every emotion you feel, and every word you speak has creative power. Nothing is neutral. Every moment you are either moving toward the life you desire or away from it, depending on the quality of your awareness. This realization is both empowering and humbling, because it shows you that you are not at the mercy of circumstances. You are the creator of them, whether you realize it or not. The first step to cultivating conscious awareness is to observe your thoughts without judgment. Most of the time, your mind is filled with a constant stream of thoughts, many of which you are not even aware of. These thoughts may be habitual, repetitive, and often negative. They run in the background, influencing your emotions and actions without your conscious consent. By becoming aware of these thoughts, you can begin to take control of them, choosing which ones to entertain and which ones to let go. This practice of observation requires mindfulness, paying attention to your inner dialogue and the stories you tell yourself. Are these thoughts aligned with the life you want to create? Or are they reinforcing old patterns of lack, fear, or limitation? Conscious awareness allows you to see the connection between your thoughts and your reality. When you become aware of a negative or limiting thought, you have the power to change it, to replace it with a thought that serves you and aligns with your desires. But conscious awareness goes beyond just observing your thoughts. It also involves being aware of your emotional state. Emotions are the fuel behind your creative power. They are the energy that propels your thoughts into manifestation. When you are aware of your emotions, you can gauge whether you are in alignment with your desires. Positive emotions like joy, gratitude, and love indicate that you are in harmony with your intentions, while negative emotions like fear, anger, or frustration suggest that you are out of alignment. By practicing conscious awareness, you learn to manage your emotions, not by suppressing them, but by recognizing them as signals. When you feel a negative emotion, instead of reacting to it unconsciously, you can pause and ask yourself, what am I thinking right now that is causing this feeling? In doing so, you bring the unconscious into the light of awareness, allowing yourself to shift your focus and regain your alignment. Conscious awareness also extends to your actions. Many people go through their daily routines without thinking about what they are doing, acting out of habit rather than intention. When you are consciously aware, you bring purpose to your actions. Every task, no matter how mundane, becomes an opportunity to align with your higher self. Whether you are working, talking to someone, or simply walking, you do so with full awareness of your purpose and your presence in the moment. This level of awareness transforms your life because it allows you to be proactive rather than reactive. Instead of being swept along by the currents of circumstances, you consciously choose the direction of your life. You become the deliberate creator of your experience, shaping your reality with intention and focus. Conscious awareness is the practice of being fully present in your own life, recognizing the power of your thoughts, emotions, and actions to create your reality. It is the gateway to personal transformation and the key to living a life of purpose, peace, and fulfillment. Inner conversations are the silent dialogues you have with yourself, the thoughts and mental narratives that continuously play in your mind. These conversations are far more powerful than many realize, for they shape your reality. The things you say to yourself, even when no one else can hear them, have the potential to influence every aspect of your life. Most people are not aware of the power of these inner dialogues, allowing them to run unchecked, often to their detriment. However, becoming conscious of your inner conversations is the key to transforming your world. You are always talking to yourself, whether you realize it or not. As you move through your day, you interpret events, make judgments, and react to situations in your mind. These internal dialogues can either lift you up or tear you down. They are the foundation upon which your beliefs about yourself and the world are built. If your inner conversations are full of doubt, fear, and limitation, you will experience those qualities in your life. Conversely, if they are filled with confidence, love, and possibility, your reality will reflect those positive attributes. The nature of your inner conversations is often tied to your subconscious beliefs. Many of these beliefs are formed early in life, based on experiences, societal conditioning, and what you've been taught. Over time, they become the filter through which you perceive the world. Your inner conversations reinforce these beliefs, whether they serve you or not. For example, if you've grown up believing that you are not worthy of success, your inner dialogue will continue to support that belief by repeating thoughts like, "I can't do this," or "I'll never be good enough." These thoughts become self-fulfilling prophecies because they shape how you act and what you attract into your life. The key to changing your reality lies in changing these inner conversations. You must become aware of what you are saying to yourself throughout the day. Are your thoughts aligned with the life you want to create, or are they sabotaging your efforts? This awareness is crucial, because once you recognize the limiting conversations you've been having with yourself, you can begin to shift them. You can replace negative, self-defeating dialogues with positive, empowering ones. When you consciously change your inner conversations, you are effectively reprogramming your subconscious mind. You are telling yourself a new story, one that aligns with the desires of your heart, rather than the limitations of your past. For instance, instead of thinking, "I'm not good enough," you begin to affirm, "I am capable, I am worthy, and I deserve success." This shift in internal dialogue may feel unnatural at first, especially if you've been engaging in negative self-talk for years. But with practice, it becomes second nature. Inner conversations are also a form of mental rehearsal. What you repeatedly say to yourself, whether out loud or in your mind, begins to form an image of your future. Just as an athlete mentally rehearses their performance before stepping onto the field, you are constantly rehearsing the future through your inner conversations. If you envision failure or disappointment, you are preparing yourself for those outcomes. But if you speak to yourself as if success is inevitable, as if everything is unfolding in your favor, you begin to create that reality. The beauty of inner conversations is that they are entirely within your control. While you may not always have control over external circumstances, you can always choose the direction of your thoughts. You can decide at any moment to change the tone of your inner dialogue. When you catch yourself in negative self-talk, stop and redirect it. Speak to yourself as you would to someone you love and believe in. Affirm your potential, your worthiness, and your ability to achieve your goals. Your inner conversations are the blueprint of your life. They are the invisible threads that weave together the fabric of your reality. By consciously guiding these conversations in a positive and empowering direction, you can transform your life from the inside out. Every great change begins within, and the dialogue you maintain with yourself is the starting point for creating the life you truly desire. Imagination is not merely a tool for idle daydreaming or wishful thinking, it is the very foundation of reality. Everything you experience in your external world first begins in the mind. What you imagine consistently and vividly becomes the blueprint for your reality. Far too often, people dismiss their imagination as something separate from their actual life, failing to realize that it is the gateway through which all manifestation flows. The images and scenarios you create in your mind are not simply fantasies, they are seeds of future experiences. The power of imagination lies in its ability to shape your perception of the world. Your mind cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined event and one that has occurred in the physical realm. This is why athletes mentally rehearse their performances, why successful individuals visualize their goals, and why many spiritual traditions emphasize the importance of seeing oneself already in possession of what one desires. When you vividly imagine a desired outcome, your subconscious mind accepts it as true, and your behavior, actions, and even external circumstances begin to align with that imagined reality. Most people use their imagination unconsciously, allowing it to be dominated by fear, worry, and doubt. They imagine the worst-case scenarios, replay past failures, and envision all the ways things could go wrong. In doing so, they unknowingly create a reality that mirrors these negative images. If you continually focus your imagination on lack, limitation, and failure, your life will begin to reflect those experiences. The mind is powerful, and it will create whatever you feed it, whether you are aware of it or not. The key to harnessing the power of imagination is to use it deliberately and consciously. You must learn to imagine only that which you desire, and to do so as though it is already real. When you imagine yourself living the life you want, feeling the emotions of having achieved your goals, you are not engaging in mere fantasy, you are creating a new reality. This process is not about pretending or wishing, it is about aligning your inner world with the outer reality you seek to experience. When you use your imagination in this way, you activate the creative forces of the universe. Your mind sends out a signal, and the world around you begins to shift to match the frequency of your vision. People, opportunities, and circumstances will begin to align with the image you hold in your mind. It is not magic, it is the natural law of creation. You cannot experience something externally until you have first experienced it internally. As within, so without. When used correctly, allows you to live from the end. This means you no longer see yourself as striving for your desires or waiting for them to manifest. Instead, you see yourself as already having achieved them. You act as if you are already the person you wish to become. By doing this, you impress the desired outcome upon your subconscious mind, which then goes to work orchestrating the circumstances necessary to bring it into being. This process requires faith and persistence. It is easy to fall back into old patterns of thinking and imagining based on current circumstances. But the secret is to remain steadfast in your vision, even when the outer world has yet to catch up. The physical world is always a step behind your inner world. What you are experiencing now is the result of past thoughts and imaginations. If you wish to change your future, you must change what you are imagining now. From the end is the practice of aligning your thoughts, feelings, and actions with the assumption that your desired outcome has already been realized. It is about embodying the state of fulfillment, not merely wishing or hoping for something to happen in the future. Instead of waiting for external circumstances to change before you feel a sense of accomplishment, you shift your inner world to match the reality you seek, acting as if it is already yours. This principle is key to manifesting the life you want, because it operates on the understanding that the outer world is simply a reflection of your inner state. When you live from the end, you begin with the end result in mind and experience it internally, even before any physical evidence appears. You move beyond the need for proof or validation from the outside world, because you trust the power of your imagination and inner belief. This mindset shift is powerful because it bypasses the limitations of the present moment and taps into the deeper truth that consciousness creates reality. What you feel and believe within yourself must, in time, be reflected in your external circumstances. To live from the end requires a clear vision of what you truly desire. You must have a vivid mental picture of the life you want to live, the goals you wish to achieve, or the person you wish to become. But it is not enough to merely think about these things. You must emotionally engage with them as if they are already part of your life. This means feeling the joy, satisfaction, and fulfillment of having already achieved your desire. The more you can immerse yourself in this state, the more powerfully you impress your subconscious mind, which is responsible for bringing these inner realities into the outer world. Living from the end also requires a shift in identity. You must see yourself not as someone who is trying to achieve something, but as someone who has already accomplished it. This change in self-perception is crucial because your beliefs about yourself determine how you act and respond to life. If you continue to see yourself as lacking or incomplete, your actions will be aligned with that belief, and you will perpetuate the experience of lack. However, when you adopt the identity of someone who has already succeeded, you naturally begin to act in ways that support that reality. This approach is not about pretending or deluding yourself. It is about recognizing the creative power of consciousness. When you live from the end, you understand that reality is fluid and malleable. You are not bound by current circumstances because they are simply a reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. By shifting your inner world, you initiate a new set of circumstances that will eventually manifest in your external reality. One of the challenges of living from the end is maintaining faith in your vision when the external world has yet to reflect it. It can be tempting to fall back into old patterns of doubt and frustration, especially when there is no immediate evidence of change. However, persistence is key. You must hold steadfast to your inner vision, trusting that the outer world will catch up in time. The lag between inner transformation and external manifestation is natural, but it does not diminish the power of the process. What you are experiencing now is the result of previous thoughts and beliefs. By consistently living from the end, you are creating the future you desire. In practical terms, living from the end means asking yourself each day, how would I feel, think, and act if I already had what I desire? How would I speak to others? How would I self? How would I carry myself? What decisions would I make? By consistently aligning your inner state with these answers, you begin to reshape your reality. Living from the end is an act of faith and imagination. It is the recognition that your inner world is the true source of all external change. When you embody the state of having already achieved your desires, you set into motion the forces necessary to bring that reality into being. You are the creator of your life, and by living from the end, you bring your desires into the present, where they can take shape and unfold in your experience. In your unseen power is the cornerstone of manifesting the life you desire. It is the quiet but unshakable belief that within you resides a creative force capable of shaping your reality, even when there is no physical evidence to support it. This power is not something external or distant, it is an intrinsic part of who you are. Faith in this power allows you to transcend the limitations of your current circumstances and align with the limitless potential that lies within your consciousness. At its core, faith is not about blindly believing in something outside of yourself. It is about trusting in your ability to influence and create your experience through your thoughts, feelings, and inner vision. Most people are conditioned to rely solely on their senses, believing only what they can see, touch, and measure. But faith asks you to go beyond the physical, to trust in the unseen, and to understand that everything that appears in your life was first imagined in the mind. When you have faith in your unseen power, you recognize that your consciousness is the true source of your life experiences. This power is always active, always working, regardless of whether you are aware of it. It operates through your thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions, and it responds to the dominant ideas you hold in your mind. If you believe in lack, limitation, or failure, that is what you will experience. However, if you believe in abundance, success, and fulfillment, those things will begin to manifest in your life. In your unseen power requires you to trust in the process of creation, even when the outer world has not yet caught up with your inner vision. This is where many people falter. They look at their current circumstances, see no evidence of change, and lose faith. But faith is not dependent on what you can see. It is the conviction that the invisible processes at work within your consciousness will eventually produce visible results. Just as a seed takes time to grow into a plant, your inner beliefs and imaginings take time to manifest in the physical world. One of the greatest challenges in developing faith in your unseen power is overcoming doubt. The mind often clings to the familiar and is quick to question anything that seems uncertain or unknown. Doubt arises when you focus on the absence of what you want, rather than the possibility of its manifestation. To counteract doubt, you must train yourself to focus on the inner feeling of already having what you desire. This is the essence of faith, seeing and feeling the reality you wish to create, even before it appears in the physical world. Faith in your unseen power is not passive, it is an active, dynamic force. It requires you to consistently align your thoughts and emotions with the outcome you seek. You must cultivate a mental environment that nurtures your desires rather than stifles them with fear and worry. When you live with this kind of faith, you do not need to force or struggle to make things happen. You simply trust that your inner work is enough, that your unseen power is bringing everything you need into alignment. This faith also leads to a profound sense of inner peace. When you truly trust in your unseen power, you no longer feel the need to control or manipulate external circumstances. You understand that everything is unfolding perfectly, even if you cannot see it yet. This trust allows you to let go of anxiety and impatience, knowing that the outcome is already assured. It frees you from the constant need for validation and reassurance from the outer world, because you know the true power lies within you. Faith in your unseen power is the recognition that you are a creator, not a victim of circumstance. You are never powerless, no matter what your current situation may be. By turning inward and trusting in the creative force that lies within, you can transform your reality in ways that may seem miraculous to others, but are entirely natural to you. This faith empowers you to move confidently through life, knowing that everything you desire is within reach, even if it has yet to appear. In conclusion, the key to transforming your life lies within your thoughts, beliefs, and inner conversations. Through conscious awareness, you tap into the immense power of your imagination and unseen creative force. By living from the end, embodying faith in your unseen power, and aligning with the vision of your desires already fulfilled, you shape your reality from within. The external world is a reflection of your inner state. And when you trust this process, you unlock limitless potential for growth, success, and fulfillment. Thank you for embracing your creative power. My friends, I urge you to awaken to the truth of your being. There is no need to beg, to chase, to write, or to call, for that which you desire is already yours. It is not in pleading with the world or running after what you think is missing that your desires will come to pass. Rather, it is in the stillness of your mind, in the quiet conviction that what you seek is already within you, that the real transformation occurs. You must come to the realization that what you desire is not outside of you. The power to create, to manifest, and to draw into your life what you seek lies within your own consciousness. There is no need to beg or chase for what is already yours, for in doing so, you place yourself in the position of the powerless, the seeker, the one who lacks. Yet how can you lack when you are the source of all that you desire? Your inner conviction, the deep and unwavering belief in the truth of your own desires, is the key to unlocking the treasures of life. When you hold within yourself the conviction that your desires are already fulfilled, you align yourself with the very forces that shape your reality. Everything begins with belief. What you believe, you experience. This is the law of your being, the fundamental truth that governs your life. Consider the times when you have doubted yourself, when you have looked at your desires and felt as though they were beyond your reach. In those moments, did you not feel a sense of lack, a sense of distance between yourself and what you sought? That distance is not real. It is a mirage created by your own thoughts and assumptions. You have been conditioned to believe that effort, struggle, and external action are necessary to achieve your goals. But this is a misunderstanding of the true nature of reality. Everything begins within. The world you see is but a reflection of the world you hold inside your mind. When you shift your inner beliefs, your outer world must follow. This is why inner conviction is so powerful. It is the foundation upon which all external manifestations rest. To have a strong inner conviction is to hold the feeling of certainty, of absolute knowing that what you desire is already yours. This certainty is not dependent on outer circumstances. It is independent of the evidence presented by your senses. The key to developing this inner conviction lies in your imagination. When you can imagine something with such vividness and feeling that it seems real to you, your subconscious mind accepts it as truth. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It simply responds to the dominant feeling within you. If you imagine yourself as already having that which you seek, and you dwell in the feeling of having it, you will begin to notice shifts in your outer world that correspond to this inner state. This process requires faith and patience. You must trust in the unseen forces at work, knowing that the outer manifestation will follow in its own time. There is no need to force or rush the process, for the moment you begin to chase or beg, you affirm that you do not believe your desire is already yours. This undermines the very power of your inner conviction. When you rest in the quiet assurance that what you desire is already on its way, you move through life with a sense of ease and confidence. You no longer feel the need to prove yourself, to convince others, or to seek validation. You are grounded in the truth of your own being, knowing that your inner conviction is the real power that shapes your life. All things must come to you in accordance with the beliefs you hold. Thus, the only effort required is the effort to remain steadfast in your conviction, knowing that the universe must reflect back to you the truth of your inner world. Is the foundation upon which your entire reality is built. It is not merely a tool for daydreaming or escaping the present moment. It is the creative force that shapes your world, the unseen architect behind every experience you encounter. What you imagine consistently and with feeling becomes the blueprint for your life. This is not a matter of wishful thinking or idle fantasy. It is a fundamental truth that governs all creation. The external world is simply a reflection of your inner state. What you see, touch, and experience in your daily life is the outpicturing of your deepest beliefs and assumptions, many of which are formed through the power of your imagination. You might believe that circumstances, other people, or fate determine the course of your life, but in truth, the source of all that you experience lies within you. Everything begins in the mind, and the process of creation unfolds from the images and feelings you hold there. Your imagination is not passive. It is alive, creative, and continually at work shaping your destiny. Every thought, every image you dwell on, and every feeling you entertain contributes to the world you see before you. This is why it is so crucial to become conscious of what you imagine, for your imagination will create your reality whether you are aware of it or not. The moment you allow negative thoughts, fears, or doubts to dominate your mind, you give those very thoughts the power to manifest in your life. When you imagine yourself in possession of your desires, when you feel as though you're already living the life you want, you set into motion forces that begin to bring that imagined state into physical reality. This is not a process of hard work or struggle. You do not need to force things to happen or chase after your goals. Rather, you must align your inner state with the reality you wish to experience. By dwelling in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you impress that state upon your subconscious mind, and the world will respond accordingly. Therefore, it is not limited to mere visualization. It is the act of assuming that what you desire is already true. When you assume the feeling of your desire as though it were a present fact, you draw it into your experience. The subconscious mind cannot distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It only knows what you impress upon it with feeling, and it will reproduce that state in your outer world. This is why you must take care to imagine only what you wish to see realized, for whatever you hold in your imagination will eventually take form. Understand that the outer world is not the cause of your circumstances, but the effect. The cause is always within you, in your imagination. The key to changing any aspect of your life is to change the image you hold in your mind. If you wish to experience abundance, health, or love, you must first imagine yourself as already having those things. You must feel the reality of it within, even if the outer world shows no evidence of its existence. This is the secret of creation. The outer world will always conform to the inner state you persistently imagine and feel. Once you grasp this truth, you realize that you are not at the mercy of circumstances or fate. You are the creator of your reality, and your imagination is the tool through which you shape your destiny. Therefore, imagine wisely and imagine boldly, for what you imagine with feeling will inevitably become the reality you live. Self-worth and detachment are intimately connected, forming the foundation of a powerful and fulfilling life. When you understand your true worth, you no longer feel the need to chase, beg, or seek validation from others. You realize that your value is inherent and not dependent on external approval or circumstances. This awareness leads to a natural state of detachment, where you are no longer emotionally entangled in the outcome of your desires. You know that you deserve the best, and that it will come to you without the need for frantic effort or desperation. True self-worth is not based on accomplishments, possessions, or how others perceive you. It comes from the recognition that you are inherently valuable simply because you exist. You are a powerful being capable of creating your reality through your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. When you understand this, you stop seeking validation from the outside world, and you begin to cultivate an inner sense of worth that is unshakable. This inner worth is not something that can be given to you by others, nor can it be taken away. It is a reflection of your consciousness. When you are rooted in a deep sense of self-worth, you understand that you are worthy of all that is good, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. This understanding frees you from the need to chase after things or people, for you know that what is meant for you will naturally come to you. Arises from this recognition of self-worth. When you are detached, you are not indifferent or apathetic. Rather, you are free from the emotional bondage that often accompanies desire. You still want things, but you are not controlled by the need to have them. Detachment is the ability to hold your desires with an open hand, knowing that their fulfillment does not define your worth. You are complete and whole, whether or not the desired outcome manifests. Detachment also allows you to release the need for control. Often we believe that we must manage every detail, chase after every opportunity, and force outcomes in order to succeed. However, this mindset is rooted in fear and a sense of lack. It implies that we do not trust the natural flow of life, or that we do not believe we are worthy of receiving what we desire effortlessly. In contrast, true detachment comes from a place of trust in ourselves, in the process, and in the unseen forces that are working on our behalf. When you are detached, you are not swayed by temporary setbacks or the appearance of lack. You remain centered in your own worth, knowing that what you desire is already yours in essence, and it will appear in your life when the time is right. This does not mean that you sit back and do nothing. It means that you take inspired action from a place of inner confidence, not from a place of desperation. You are not attached to the outcome because you already feel whole, and you trust that whatever happens is for your highest good. Detachment also protects your energy. When you are attached to a specific outcome, you often invest emotional energy into something outside of your control. This can lead to feelings of anxiety, frustration, and disappointment. But when you are detached, you conserve your energy and focus it on cultivating your inner world, your beliefs, your imagination, and your sense of worth. This inner alignment naturally draws the right people, opportunities, and experiences to you without struggle. Self-worth and detachment go hand in hand. When you recognize your inherent value, you no longer feel the need to cling to or control external outcomes. You trust that what is meant for you will find its way to you. You are free to live in the present, to enjoy life, and to rest in the assurance that all is well. The power lies in knowing that you are already whole and complete, and that everything else is simply a reflection of your inner state. Trust in the unseen is an essential principle of creation, a powerful act of faith in the invisible forces that shape our reality. It involves believing in outcomes that are not yet visible, relying on forces beyond the physical realm to bring about the fulfillment of our desires. The unseen world is where all creation begins. What you see with your eyes is merely the final manifestation of a process that started long before, in the realm of thought and imagination. To trust in the unseen is to understand that this invisible realm is far more real and influential than the external world you perceive with your senses. Often we are conditioned to place our trust in what we can observe, touch, and measure. We are taught to believe that the physical world is the primary reality, and that we must work within its limitations to achieve our goals. Yet this belief is a misunderstanding of how life truly works. The physical world is not the cause of your experiences, but the effect. The true cause of everything you experience lies in your consciousness, in your thoughts, beliefs, and feelings. These are the unseen forces that create your reality. Trusting in the unseen means recognizing that just because something is not visible does not mean it is not real or that it is not on its way to you. The moment you imagine something and feel it to be true, you have set the process of creation into motion. The unseen forces, your thoughts, emotions, and subconscious mind begin to align with the vibration of your desire and work to bring it into physical reality. However, this process is often invisible in its early stages. You may not see any evidence of change right away, but that does not mean nothing is happening. The unseen is always at work, shaping, arranging, and bringing about the perfect conditions for your desire to manifest. One of the greatest challenges we face is to maintain trust when the outer world appears to contradict our inner vision. We might feel disheartened when circumstances seem to stay the same or when obstacles arise. Yet, this is precisely when trust in the unseen is most crucial. The key is to remain unwavering in your belief that what you have imagined is already real in the unseen realm, and it is only a matter of time before it becomes visible. This kind of trust allows you to move through life with a sense of calm and certainty, knowing that everything is unfolding as it should. To trust in the unseen is to let go of the need for immediate proof. It is to release the urge to control every detail and to stop demanding constant evidence of progress. This does not mean being passive or doing nothing. It means that you act with confidence, not out of desperation or fear, but from a place of inner knowing. You take inspired actions, knowing that the unseen forces are supporting you, and that the outcome is already assured, even if you cannot see it yet. This trust in the unseen also involves understanding that there are forces at play far beyond your conscious awareness. You are part of a larger universal system, where everything is interconnected. What may seem like a delay or an obstacle is often the universe aligning events and circumstances in ways that are beyond your understanding. Trusting in the unseen means having faith that things are always working out for your highest good. even if the path to your desired outcome takes unexpected turns. In moments of doubt, remember that the greatest transformations occur when you trust the process and remain aligned with your vision. Your task is not to force the outcome, but to stay aligned with the feeling of having already received it. Trusting in the unseen allows you to let go of worry, fear, and impatience. It invites you to rest in the knowledge that your desires are already in motion, and the physical world will eventually reflect what you have consistently imagined and believed. When you trust in the unseen, you tap into the true power that governs creation. The law of assumption is a fundamental principle of creation, stating that whatever you assume to be true in your inner world will manifest in your outer reality. It is based on the understanding that your assumptions, your deeply held beliefs, and feelings are the driving force behind everything that you experience. What you assume about yourself, your life, and the world around you shapes the circumstances, people, and events that come into your life. The key to using this law effectively is to recognize that the outer world is simply a reflection of your inner state, and by changing your assumptions, you change your reality. At its core, the law of assumption operates on the premise that your consciousness creates your experience. The life you live is a direct result of what you believe to be true about yourself and the world. If you consistently assume success, abundance, love, or health, these qualities will eventually show up in your life. Conversely, if you assume lack, struggle, or failure, you will encounter circumstances that mirror those assumptions. The outer world does not cause your assumptions, it responds to them. To activate the law of assumption, you must first become aware of the beliefs and assumptions you currently hold. Often people are unaware of the limiting assumptions that govern their lives. They may believe they are destined for mediocrity or that they are unlucky in love, health, or finances. These assumptions, whether conscious or unconscious, create the framework for their experiences. The good news is that these assumptions are not fixed. You have the power to change them at any moment by consciously choosing new beliefs and assuming them to be true. The process of applying the law of assumption involves cultivating a state of mind in which you feel and act as though your desired outcome is already a reality. This is not about mere wishful thinking or blind optimism. It is about fully embodying the feeling of your desire as though it is already accomplished. For example, if you desire financial abundance, you must assume the state of being wealthy. You must imagine what it feels like to have the financial freedom you seek, and you must live in that feeling, even if your current reality does not reflect it yet. By doing so, you align your consciousness with the state of abundance, and the outer world must conform to this new assumption. The power of the law of assumption lies in its simplicity. It does not require force, effort, or manipulation of external circumstances. It only requires a shift in your inner world. Once you assume the feeling of your desire fulfilled, you no longer need to worry about how or when it will manifest. The universe, through the unseen forces of creation, will arrange the necessary circumstances to bring your assumption into reality. Your only task is to maintain the feeling of the wish fulfilled and to trust the process. One of the most important aspects of the law of assumption is persistence. You must persist in your new assumption, even in the face of contrary evidence. The physical world may take time to catch up with your new state of mind, and you may encounter moments where it seems as though nothing is changing. However, this is not a sign of failure, it is simply part of the process. The outer world is a lagging reflection of your inner state, and as you persist in your new assumption, the reflection will eventually change to match your new belief. The law of assumption empowers you to take control of your life by recognizing that you are the creator of your reality. Whatever you assume to be true, you will experience. It is not dependent on luck, chance, or external factors. You have the ability to shape your destiny by choosing to assume the state of your desire as already fulfilled. Through this law, you can transform your life by transforming your beliefs, and in doing so, you unlock the limitless potential of your imagination. So, resting in the knowing is an act of profound trust and certainty in the fulfillment of your desires. It means entering a state of calm confidence, where you no longer feel the need to control or manipulate the outer world to bring about your desired outcomes. Instead, you rest in the quiet assurance that what you have imagined and believed is already real in the unseen realm and will manifest in due time. This state of knowing goes beyond mere hope or wishful thinking. It is a deep, inner conviction that what you seek is already yours, even if it is not yet visible in the physical world. When you rest in the knowing, you no longer feel the need to force or struggle to make things happen. You understand that creation begins within, and your outer reality is only a reflection of your inner state. In this space, there is no room for doubt or fear, because you are certain of the outcome. This certainty comes from understanding the power of your thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions to shape your world. You trust that the forces of creation are working in your favor, even when you cannot yet see the results. To rest in the knowing is to detach from the how and when of your desires' fulfillment. Often, people become anxious and impatient, constantly looking for signs that their desires are manifesting. They may feel the urge to control every detail, fearing that without their intervention, things will not turn out as they hope. However, this need for control comes from a place of insecurity and lack of trust in the process. When you rest in the knowing, you release the need for constant reassurance and allow the natural flow of life to unfold. You understand that there is a timing and order to everything, and that what is meant for you cannot be withheld. In this state of rest, you live in the feeling of your desire already fulfilled. You no longer concern yourself with appearances that may seem contrary to your wish. The outer world may not yet reflect what you have imagined, but this does not shake your belief. You remain centered in your knowing, understanding that the physical world is simply catching up to the state of consciousness you have assumed. By maintaining this inner feeling, you create a magnetic pull that draws your desires to you effortlessly. Resting in the knowing is also about inner peace. When you are constantly striving, worrying, or doubting, you create resistance to the very thing you want. But when you rest, you allow the universe to work on your behalf without interference. You remain calm and composed, trusting that everything is unfolding perfectly, even if you cannot see the entire picture. This peaceful state is not passive. It is an active trust in the unseen forces that govern creation. You are aligned with the natural rhythm of life, knowing that what you have planted in your mind will come to fruition. It's important to recognize that resting in the knowing does not mean doing nothing. It means taking inspired action when it feels right, but without the urgency or desperation that comes from a place of lack. You act confidently and with ease, knowing that you are guided and supported in the process. You are no longer driven by fear or anxiety, but by the quiet certainty that all is well. Resting in the knowing is about living from a place of inner security. You are not swayed by external circumstances or temporary setbacks, because you understand that your reality is shaped by your inner world. You trust that everything you need is already yours, and you allow it to come to you in its own time. This is a state of deep surrender, where you are no longer chasing after your desires, but allowing them to come to you naturally, drawn by the power of your unwavering belief. In conclusion, the power to create the life you desire lies within you. By trusting in the unseen, cultivating a deep sense of self-worth, and resting in the knowing that your desires are already fulfilled, you align yourself with the natural flow of creation. There is no need to chase, beg, or force outcomes. Everything you seek will manifest effortlessly when you embrace the principles of imagination, belief, and detachment. Your reality is a reflection of your inner state, and by consciously shaping your thoughts and assumptions, you unlock the limitless potential within. Thank you for embracing these truths and stepping into your role as the creator of your reality.